Good morning, good looking people, and you're good looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. How are you? Today is Thursday. Hope you're having a great week so far. Hope you had a lot of success. There's still more time, so if you haven't got it yet, let's get it. There's still more to this week. Today is the 30th of Menachem Av. It's the first day of Rosh Chodesh Elul. We are right there at the month of Elul. We've been talking about for the last couple of days about different preparations and getting ready for Rosh Hashanah. And today is another building point. Today we're talking about baby steps, taking it slowly, making sure that we're building on something as opposed to trying to go from point A to point Z and jumping too much. If you were going up a ladder and you try to get up too many steps and you miss one, you'll fall and it hurts. So literally we're talking about slow and steady. We're building and trying to progress as we get closer to Rosh Hashanah. Let's read the Hayom Yom inside and then I will give you the background. First, we're going to start with some instructions. First of all, being that it's Rosh Chodesh Elul, we're going to start with saying LeDavid Hashem Ori. It's an insert that we say right after Shir Shel Yom in the morning. So we're going to say it in the morning and as well as in the afternoon after Shmon Esrei before Aleinu. In particular, after Tachnun before Aleinu. Also, we actually start blowing the shofar tomorrow, which is the first of Elul. However, today is a practice day. So today is a day that they would practice, and then eventually tomorrow will be the start of blowing the shofar until we get towards Rosh Hashanah. Let's read the Hayom Yom, and then I'll give you the background. At first, the Alter Rebbe would deliver short Maimarim. For example, the Maimar entitled Zecher Rav Tuvcha, with its commentary that appears in the Siddur, was delivered in 6 installments, the total being somewhat longer than the printed version. So what is being said in today's Hayom Yom? The Alter Rebbe would start with giving off discourses. Like we learned in the past, first they were smaller, then they would get longer and longer and longer. Their original Maimarim or discourses were called Veter, which was very small. And what the Hayom Yom is talking about is that the Alter Rebbe started with very short and concise discourses, and then eventually he built on them, and they got longer and longer. Eventually, the Mittler Rebbe, who was giving explanations on the Alter Rebbe's discourses, were very long, some of them tens of pages. And the idea that's being said today is that we talked about earlier in the week about concise goals, that we try to stay focused, starting small, and then we will build and build and build. And that's really what's the message of today's Hayom Yom, that we can't start like this. Literally, we have to build on a process. And that's what was being said with the Hayom Yom, that the Alter Rebbe started with a smaller process, smaller Maimarim, smaller discourses, and eventually built and built on that. And really, that's the message of the day to us as well, both in our spiritual lives and in our lives in general, that if you were to think of a ladder, you can't get on a ladder and start on the first step and jump to the 12th step. Somebody that goes and tries to leap too high, God forbid if they miss that step, that's a pretty hard fall coming down. However, you go up 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 to 6, not such a big jump, but you're going in baby steps. Then eventually you're building that foundation, and then you'll get there. And that's really the month of Elul. We're not going to get from point A to point Z. Elul is about 30 days of preparation for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and every day we have to do better. Every day we have to daven better, do more mitzvahs, take on something like we talked about earlier in the week with a little bit more hiddur, making it more beautiful. And also in our personal lives, setting goals is important, but you can't get from here to the goal like that unless you set a really small goal. But eventually you got to build on that, and every day has to be focused on what am I doing today to get to that goal. And we also see that with blowing of the shofar. We have a practice day. We didn't go right to blowing of the shofar. We have one day to practice, and then eventually we're also going to start blowing the shofar for real. That's the concept of the day. Slow and steady won the race, baby steps, and God willing, we'll have a wonderful progressive month, and have a great, sweet, and happy and healthy new year. Have a wonderful day. Have a happy Rosh Chodesh, and we will talk more tomorrow.